A little bit about myself. I'm a solution advisor. I work for SAP. I'm a mom, and I'm not an expert on ChatGPT. The reason why I'm giving this class is I'm finding this tool very useful, and I am finding that there's a lot of people in my life who have either never heard of it or don't know how to use it, and I think it could make your life easier. So, what is it? Well, in a nutshell, it's a chatbot. It's kind of like Siri or Alexa, but it's not a verbal chatbot. It's on a website. So, kind of like Google, but much, much better. It's smarter. It is more specifically and more technically an AI language model. It was developed by a company called OpenAI. The technology behind it and some of the terms that you might hear when it comes to things like ChatGPT. It's using artificial intelligence or AI. AI aims to create machines that can reason, learn, perceive, and problem solve in ways that mimic human cognitive abilities. ChatGPT specifically is using natural language processing. So this is a field of AI that focuses on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. And then machine learning, it's another branch of AI. It enables computers to learn and improve from experience without being programmed. So that's the technology behind it. Why would you use it? Why do I get so excited about it? Why am I sharing this? I'm going to give some examples. How you use it is really going to depend on who you are, what your interests are, what you do for work. I think once you understand some of the general ideas and concepts behind it, you should be able to apply it to your own life. But here are some of the common ways that I think most people will use it. So decision making. I have a list of, common decisions that you might make. These are very general, but the way that you'll use ChatGPT is that it will be specific to you. So what is in this list? So what product should I buy? Where should I go on vacation? What book should I read? What should I make for dinner? What type of gift should I give? And then you can debate the pros and cons of your options. Now, with each of these options, you're not going to just say, hey, what book should I read? You can tell ChatGPT a little bit about yourself and your interests, and then it's going to make specific recommendations. So you might say, here are a list of some of my favorite books. Can you recommend similar books that I might enjoy? Or you can ask for a specific author or a specific theme. Maybe you're currently interested in a specific part of history. So my son is learning about the Holocaust right now. And maybe I want to find age-appropriate books for him about the Holocaust. So those are all things that you can do that like Google just couldn't do. Another example, what product should I buy? So I'm in the market for a grill. And you can start to tell it, different things that you're looking for. I want a propane grill. I want it to be made in America. I want it to be under $800. I want 4 burners. And then it will present a list, and then it's conversational. So you can say, okay, great, but give me the 3 with the top highest reviews or something like that. Okay, what else can it do? A big way that it's being used is to write content and to use this in a creative way. So some examples are build an agenda for a class about ChatGPT. So yes, I used it to build this agenda, or at least give me a rough outline that I can use as a starting point. It's been used very widely to write resumes or refine a resume. So I haven't used it in this way. I don't know too much about it, but you can use ChatGPT in a conversational way. So if I were to want to write a resume, I might give it a starting point and then ask it to make a better one. Or I might feed it to the job description of the job that I'm looking and moving into and ask it to write a cover letter for that position. So get creative with it. It can generate practice interview questions for that position to give you a way to practice, but also give you a head start of what the recruiters might be asking you. It can refine things or write things. So an email, a letter, maybe you're having a hard time writing a professional letter to an organization. It can do that for you. It can write a poem or a song if you give it some parameters. So the theme of the song in the style of, rap or a certain poet that you want it to model. You can give it all that information and then it will give that output. So for teachers, yes, it can write papers for students. This is, one of those ethical concerns because you can tell it to, write a paper about Egypt in the style of a 9th grade boy and make it, 600 words or 3 pages or whatever the case may be. On the other hand, teachers are using this as well to write exams. So this kind of goes both ways. You can ask it for advice on relationship issues, financial advice, self-improvement, health and wellness. I was looking for tips on how to prevent my son from losing his Invisalign, as one example. I explain like I'm 5. So a great use of this is boiling down complex ideas. Things that are out there right now, like cryptocurrency that, I don't have a good handle on. I can ask it to, explain it in simple terms, and then I can start talking to it and asking it further questions. It can do complex math. So I had a friend recently talk about how they're starting a small business and they're making a food product and they have no idea what it costs them to make each food product. So I said, well, get your list of shopping list together. Tell ChatGPT what the ingredients are, how much is in each unit, like I bought a thing of butter and this is how much is in the butter and this is how much it costs. Tell ChatGPT all of this information, how many, food items are coming out of the batch and how much product you used. And it will calculate all of that, right? So it can do word problems. And yes, so another ethical concern, it can do homework. Another thing I haven't used it for, but I've read that it is an incredible translation or language tutor. You can ask it to teach you Spanish. It can converse with you in Spanish. It can give you feedback on your grammar, things like that. Okay, so specifically, how do I use it then, right? So this is where you go. It's a website. You go to chat.openapi.com. You will need to create an account, but you can link it with your Google account, I believe, or your email. So go ahead. And I suggest going to this website and, using some of the information that I provided you. Think of some things that you would want to use it for and just jump right in. But before you do so, here are some helpful tips. So I kind of mentioned it before. You need to be explicit. You're going to get a better result if you feed it better information. This is called prompt engineering. So some examples are when you are looking for a response, tell ChatGPT that you want the response in 200 words or less. That's just an example. Or that you want it to answer in a step-by-step format. I did mention this earlier, but it does have iterative refinement or conversational abilities. So it gives you an answer. You can say, write that again, but in a more professional tone. Again, it can debate the pros and cons of some of these responses. Okay. So like I said, let's talk about some of the ethical considerations. The famous Stephen Hawking once said that the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Whether that's true or not, I kind of thought that was funny because the reason why I get so excited about things like ChatGPT are that it really helps me in my life. I find, these types of computer assistants extremely helpful for me. All the examples that I gave were very harmless ways to use it to, get more information out of the world that we live in. But you should be aware of some of the things around bias, fairness, and sensitivity. So ChatGPT is not perfect. It may be amplifying some of the existing biases that exist all around us. It is learning from us, right? So just keep that in mind. Given that, ChatGPT fully understands that it does not have enough diverse data. The data set that it currently has available to it is not infinite amounts of knowledge in the universe. So it is currently a, biased type of machine. It might feed you inappropriate or controversial data if you ask it about sensitive subjects. Personally, I've never done so. I want to be a good global citizen. So, use it responsibly, be a good teacher. It is machine learning. It is learning from the things that we input into the system. So be a good teacher. Trust and safety around the internet, it was designed to be accurate, of course, but sometimes that fails. Again, be aware of those potential biases. Consider all information that you get, whether it's from the internet or from the news or whatever. Consider that critically. Understand that information you receive may be inaccurate. It can cite sources, so if that's important for you, ask it to cite the sources that it used for the information it gave you. One of the concerns is that ChatGPT might be used maliciously throughout society to perpetuate misinformation or disinformation. It might be used in manipulation. So this is just good to know when you are, thinking critically about the information that you get, because people can use this for the wrong ways to generate things like real sounding deep fake text. I'm only talking about ChatGPT and the AI around this specific chat, but you've seen AI videos and AI pictures and things like that. So, we are blurring the lines between what's real and what's fake. And so, being armed with that knowledge is important. And around privacy and data handling, just, of course, always protect your private data. Don't tell ChatGPT your name, age, address. I tend to be, pretty general, if I need it to know a little bit of information about who I am to give me some results. So an example is I'm planning a trip to Las Vegas. I might tell it that 2 adults and a 10-year-old boy are going on a trip, something like that. All right. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, again, I'm not an expert about ChatGPT. I just hope that this gives you a head start and some ways that you can use it and how you can use it. If you have any questions, my email is nicmidd515@gmail.com. And I'll go ahead and dive into a quick demo for you. So just so you can see how this works, chat.openai.com. I'm already logged in. This is the home page. It will tell you about the limitations. It will tell you about the capabilities and some examples. It does save your chats and you can rename them. I didn't want, that's my personal chat, so history, so I didn't really want to share that. But you can, modify and save some of those chats. It's not always perfect. It doesn't always save the whole history. But you can copy and paste some of these things. So if you need to save it, you can do it that way. But yeah, here's just an example. Right now, I was looking for a software to record this video. So I was saying, what are some options for free software that can record my screen? And then it will give me my results. So I think that's where I started. And then, it's going to give me my results, like I'm saying. And then I'll say, which of these are better for training videos? And I don't have to worry about my punctuation. And so, yeah, I just talk to it like that. It knows what it already said. And I can just keep going. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and